The road to WrestleMania just hit its final chapter for Monday Night Raw. All the major players were there, and these are the top 5 moments from Monday Night Raw. The first segment I'd like to talk about is the 6-man tag between the MFTs and LA Knight and the Usos. This match was set up backstage after the MFTs interrupted LA Knight and Jimmy and Jey Uso while they were having a little powwow, talking about how they're not on the show tonight right before WrestleMania. We jump into the match now. It's high-paced, fun action as a 6-man tag should go. You know, lots of action going on. But the moments that I would like to highlight here are when Solo Sikoa is on the outside of the ring and Tama Tonga comes up against the guardrail there and makes his presence known. He was noticeably absent earlier when they were backstage. Solo's like, what's going on? Why weren't you back there with us? Why haven't you been returning the calls? And Tama Tonga kind of walks up to him, kind of stares him down, and meanwhile, Tonga Loa is distracted in the middle of the ring. He catches a BFT and a 1-2-3 for the win for LA Knight and the Usos. Now, you know, this could be something that we look at during WrestleMania or even Friday Night SmackDown. You never know whether we're going to pull the trigger for this Tama Tonga singles run. I don't know. Maybe him and Tonga Loa do the GOD tag team like they were in New Japan, but we'll wait and see. The next segment I'd like to highlight is the Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan part of the show, where Stephanie Vaquer is coming out to do an in-ring interview with Kathy Kelly. Now, they start off by talking, Kathy Kelly and Stephanie Vaquer in the middle of the ring, and out of nowhere, Liv Morgan just charges in, pushes Stephanie Vaquer into Kathy Kelly, and they just start beating the holy hell out of each other, just beating each other up through security guards, through like just going crazy. This was awesome. Liv Morgan looked like a psychopath here. Her eyes were like, she looked crazy. She looked like a complete psycho. It was awesome. Stephanie definitely got her receipt here for last week when she pushed Liv Morgan into Roxanne Perez and left that golf ball size bump on her head. The next segment I'd like to highlight is the Gunther and Seth Rollins segment. Now, this one's fairly similar to Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan's segment, where Gunther comes down to the ring to address the fans, and Seth Rollins just kind of blindsides him, starts beating him up. But, you know, he tries to beat him up, but you know what? They actually have a conversation, and, you know, Seth Rollins kind of tries to talk to him on the mic, you know, saying, you know, if you were a real man, you'd come down to the ring, have a chat with me, and tell me why you attacked me those weeks ago. Are you, you know, doing a favor for Paul Heyman so that you can get yourself a world title match, or what's your reasoning? And Gunther comes back in the ring, and they get face to face, man. They're like butting heads, hitting each other on the forehead. They're just going at it. But Gunther basically says, I don't like you, Seth Rollins. You were a lazy champion. You know, you were an idiot champion for not taking on any good challengers. Why did you never you know, want to have me challenge you? Why were you only, you know, kind of being Paul Heyman's lapdog champion? And Seth Rollins took offense to this and had a little brawl. But that was kind of it. The next segment I'd like to highlight is kind of a two-parter here, is with the Brock Lesnar-Obafemi contract signing. And Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come down to the ring. Brock Lesnar's kind of standing there, looking big, signs the contract. Paul Heyman does his, this is not a prediction, but a spoiler. And he says that he's going to conquer the ruler. He is going to decimate him, and all of his ad-libs that he uses to pretty much signify that Brock Lesnar is this all-powerful beast. And basically that's all that part of the segment does right there. Hype up Brock Lesnar. Now, later in the show, we see Obafemi walk out to the ring to sign the contract himself. And Paul Heyman, no music or anything, he kind of standing there at the top of the stage. And he has some words to say to Obafemi, kind of how he's a fool for, you know, being so confident against Brock Lesnar. This is fight week, that he trains differently. He acts differently during fight week. You know, he's going to be conquered. And then Obafemi cuts a really good promo here, saying that I am no mountain for you to conquer. I am him. is basically what he says. Overall, great segment, and it is the most anticipated match for me. I think it's going to be the best match, train wreck, on Sunday night. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. Last but certainly not least is the Roman Reigns CM Punk stuff to open the show. Like, cold open on the show was a vignette package where Roman Reigns is sitting down in a dark, dim lit room, and he's talking about how CM Punk is a liar. He's a fraud. He's a hypocrite, saying, highlighting some different things throughout his career, where last week CM Punk said that he never needed help to be champion, but then it shows a picture of him when he had the Straight Edge Society. You know, he said last week that he never needed Paul Heyman's help, but it shows him holding the title belt standing next to Paul Heyman. So he's, Roman Reigns is highlighting the hypocrisy and the things that CM Punk had to say versus, what he used to do back in 2000. What was the Straight Edge Society? 2008. And then, back in 2012 when he held the title for 434 days. Now we'll cut to the very end of the show because their little face-off was the main event segment. And Roman Reigns comes on out to his epic music. Everybody's holding up the ones and they're acknowledging their tribal chief. But as soon as he finishes that statement, CM Punk comes on out. But he doesn't come out from the normal entranceway. He comes out through the crowd. Roman Reigns is like, if you get in this ring, we're not going to be using these microphones anymore. But CM Punk comes up to the ring, kind of steps on the ring apron, and he says, I hate you, Roman. I hate everything that you are. You were handed all these main events. You were handed all of these championships. You were handed every opportunity where I had to scratch, claw, and fight my way on the indies. I had to become the indie god, essentially. I fought all over the United States. I fought all over the world, Japan, Puerto Rico, Mexico, all over Europe, to get to where I am today. Now, Roman rebuttals with, I hate you too. I hate that for 10 years, all these people did was chant your name. I hate that you have such a great connection with these fans that I don't have. Because when I go away, I want them to chant my name for 10 years, just like they did for you. And basically, right after that statement, they go off air, staring each other down, looking mean. Now, this main event headliner here for Sunday night, this match, it's gonna be really hyped up. I'm excited for this because this is something I never thought that I would ever see. The next one I want to see is CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Should have happened in AEW. But I think this is two major stars. This is probably the best WrestleMania main event they could have done for the biggest star power. But I'm really excited for WrestleMania. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys are excited for WrestleMania and what you thought of Monday Night Raw. Now, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time. Peace.